And after the Ubisoft, we had the Sony conference.
The Sony conference.
Sony, big, lot to unpack here.
Yeah.
Uncharted Lost Legacy trailer. Uncharted, great games, great exclusive for PlayStation.
Yeah, great Sony exclusive. It just Uncharted games are just if you like that kind of game, which is kind of reminiscent of the of the Tomb Raider games. It's really good quality. They haven't really dropped in quality, and Lost Legacy I'm guessing is going to be just about the same quality, if not a little better. So if you liked any of the Uncharted games, this is going to be a great game for you.
Yeah. So then they had the Horizon Zero Dawn, the DLC for that, the Frozen
Wilds.
Wilds.
Frozen Wilds.
I can read.
It's
small.
Yeah.
On my screen.
Anyways,
I loved Horizon Zero Dawn. I beat the game. I was quite completionist about it, except for the stupid hunter things. I didn't do any of those.
Yeah, the hunter challenges.
Screw those.
I did a couple.
Did a lot of other stuff, and all you get from those are slightly better weapons, which once you have the good armor,
doesn't really matter.
But it looks like it'll be awesome. I love the story for Horizon. I hope that it adds on to that and hope that it sets up for Horizon 2.
That actually would be fantastic because it did well enough that they need to do a Horizon
They
Zero
will
Dawn
do a
2.
Horizon Zero Dawn 2.
So if they can, and I like when they do DLC that they start developing after they release the game that is story oriented. I really liked if you've played the Shadow of Mordor, like the Hunter and the Celebrimbor story, then those were fantastic. I loved that they added more story to it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited for that. We'll probably have to check that out.
Definitely.
Yeah. And one thing I just wanted to mention was Days Gone, which is just kind of a zombie game that's trying to catch the vibe of.
It's a little late to that party.
Yeah. Walking Dead.
Walking Dead.
So it's got hordes and it's got zombie bears and I don't know, the gameplay kind of left me underwhelmed.
Yeah, I never got into Walking Dead either, so I guess
me either. I mean, it had its moments. I watched I started watching season 3 with a roommate.
Oh, really?
So,
I got past episode 3, and I was like,
well, no, I didn't even watch seasons 1 or 2. I just kind of started because he was watching at 9, nothing else to do. So it's one of those.
I just hear people complain about Walking Dead all the time about how it's like the same episode and stuff. It's like, why do you watch it?
Yeah,
I don't get that.
Anyway, so that's one I will not be picking up.
Are we now gonna get Walking Dead?
Well, they have walking
people who are gonna. Well, no,
that'll slaughter.
Wanna kill us.
Well, if they do, then they must do so as zombies. So good luck with that.
Yes, do that.
Oh, one thing I wanted to mention was the Monster Hunter World. That's coming out on the PS4. It's gonna be an MMORPG. Based in the Monster Hunter world or franchise, however you want to put it, and that's getting bigger here in the U.S., but it's a huge franchise in Japan, and that's kind of a big deal that, that you have a Monster Hunter game coming to a home console. Then again, Monster Hunter Double Cross is coming to the Switch, so it's a little lackluster in the announcement. But it still looks like a really fun game for Monster Hunter fans. I've tried Monster Hunter. It's not really my thing, but it actually looks like a really fun game.
It looked interesting. It looked fun. I'd like to see a bit more gameplay before I'd buy it. And I'd like to try it out regardless. For me, it's not a day one buy.
Yeah. So, Shadow of the Colossus, huh?
Yeah. I really liked the first one. I beat the first one with a friend back in high school on the PS2.
Yeah.
Got some good memories there. This one's a remake.
That comment aged you a whole lot, by the way.
Not
back
that
in
old.
high school on the PS2.
We're the same age, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
So I'm bringing you down with me. No, and it's a remake, not a remaster. So it should have a lot better graphics, and it was just for the PS2. It was a cool game with some cool visuals. I'm hoping on the PS4 it'll be a great game with some awesome visuals, because there really was a lot that they could do visually for that game, but on the PS2 that option just wasn't there for them. Like, it can't render that far out.
Well, yeah.
You go back and play PS2 games and it's like, oh, I can see like 50 feet ahead of me.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like that's when upgrading graphics mattered, and I'm excited for this because it's probably not going to upgrade only the graphics, but also gameplay mechanics, maybe even some story stuff. Like it has a lot of potential, and I never beat this game, but I played it with some friends at one point or another. I forget, but like I remember it being really intriguing and fun, and I thought it was just this new cool game, and I'm excited for that to come out and for me to basically experience it on my own for the first time. So I'm excited for that, and I did want to mention one thing. Graphics do matter up to a certain point, because you can't when the graphics affect what kind of gameplay mechanics you can do in your games, like being able to render X amount of enemies on the screen, or being able to see enough into the distance to know where you're going, or things like that. That's when graphics matter. But at the point that we're at with all the new consoles right now, any more is just showy. It just looks more beautiful. It's not going to enhance your gameplay mechanics to where like you can load more enemies on the screen or things like that. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I also just remembered with the Shadow of the Colossus, as you play the game, your character starts to kind of age and crack looking. My friend and I, we didn't even notice. I played it with Brendan, by the way.
Yeah.
We didn't even notice. Like, it was like towards the end, we were like, huh, his face looks kind of funny. And, and then turns out it was kind of a mechanic that was supposed to happen. I mean, I just looked up a little screenshot here.
Yeah.
And
that's really interesting.
Yeah, on the screenshot, like you can see it happening, but you can barely tell, especially on the PS2.
Yeah.
So, I mean, hopefully I would hope that they'd expound on the story, or at least make it more clear. And then also little details like that, you're going to notice more with better graphics with the remake.
Yeah.
So, high hopes for that one.
That's something I'm excited for. It gave a 2018 release date, so
did it give
I think late 2018, fall 2018, yeah. I think.
Did it give a price, a starting price?
For Shadow of the Colossus?
Yeah, a price point for it? Probably not.
No, I mean, I'm assuming it'll just be the normal 60.
I say that because, I mean, a lot of remakes or a lot of remasters. Mostly remasters come in at a significantly lower 20 to 30 price point.
Yeah. But this is going to be ground up remake. I expect it to be $60.
If it's ground up remake with the story redone.
Yeah. Because, I mean, they don't even have to redo the story all that much. Just clarify
much. Yeah, just clarify and make it more clear.
But you can't really take assets from the PS2 and carry it over to the PS4.
Yeah, correct.
So, anyway.
Anyways.
Next up, I'm disappointed in Marvel vs. Capcom. It just looks like last gen.
It looks like something you'd go to the arcade or the laundromat when you were 7 and put in a quarter and play.
Yeah. It just looks unimpressive. And after finishing Injustice 2, it's just
I finished.
Where's the quality in Marvel vs. Capcom?
It's not there.
It's not there. So that I'm really disappointed in.
See, for me, Injustice 2, it was like my first side-scrolling fighting game that it was like, oh, I actually kind of like these.
Yeah.
So I was looking at other ones, and I'm like, oh, Marvel vs. Capcom. And I watched the trailer. This was Marvel vs. Capcom 3. This was a month ago or so that I was looking at this. And I was like, oh, never mind then. I'll just go back. I'll try the first Injustice, because I haven't played that. Anyways, I just...
Yeah.
How about no?
What?
How about no to that
No,
Marvel vs.
no,
Capcom?
exactly. No.
Yeah.
So
Gameplay might be fine. I don't know. Never tried it.
yeah.
Don't really doesn't tickle my
Because
fancy.
a big reason I liked Injustice 2 was because it looked
It
great,
looked awesome.
and the story
And it
was
had a
fantastic.
story.
And
But anyway, it just didn't impress me at all.
Just
Marvel versus
no
Capcom.
on that one.
Anyway, moving on. So for a franchise that I, for the most part, have not enjoyed very much, Call of Duty.
We enjoyed Call of Duty.
We enjoyed it when it was new.
There was Call of Duty 2, which was
That was
great.
really good.
There was Call
The
of Duty
first
World
Call of
at
Duties
War.
were good. There was a
It's
reason
great.
they had a good reputation when they began.
Definitely.
But they've just gone downhill since. I haven't.
Modern Warfare
had
was
any
good. Modern
desire
Warfare
to-
2 was still good. But it's like you keep doing the same thing.
Yeah.
It's
so
like really Infinite Warfare? I don't
Yeah.
care. What are they even on now?
I don't even
I don't
know.
even know.
Something about
I'm not even gonna look it up.
Infinity Stone Warfare.
Probably.
Oh wait, no, that's Marvel.
Yeah.
Anyway, versus Capcom. Crap.
Versus-
We've gone full circle.
Modern
But no,
Warfare.
the point is the World War II game that they're coming out with looks impressive.
Looks great.
It looks like they took a page from Battlefield 1's book and just made a really cool game that I'm sure will have a really cool story
And
that's
going
based
back
on
to their
actual
roots.
history. Yeah, back to their roots. Like this is why we started loving Call of Duty in the first place.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited for that.
One thing I do hope, though, if it's just the same, like they can just go back and if it's just gameplay with guns and things from that era, that's fine. I want it to be like Battlefield.
Battlefield 1.
I do that all the time.
Me too.
I want it to be like that in the way that they have stories and you play as a specific person. And I'm not saying like exactly like that. I'm just saying I want it to be stories. I want it to be kind of true stories. And in the sense like that Battlefield 1 was like kind of touching. It was like, holy
Oh,
crap.
yeah.
Like you felt this. These were people's stories. These are, this is what happened to these people. I want that with this.
Yeah, I agree. And
What captured us all with Battlefield 1 was the fact that like these are stories from real people. I mean, maybe embellished a little, but like these are real stories
Yeah.
from people during World War One, and they made a video game out of it, and they helped us experience that, which I think, besides being a fun video game, was a really cool thing to do in the first place. So I'm hoping Call of Duty takes a page from their book again and makes it a really intriguing and emotional experience for us to all remember, the lives that were given for freedom. So it's just a cool thing for me.
Yeah. I just Call of Duty usually likes to tell a story. I hope they don't do it normal Call of Duty style.
Yeah.
Honestly, with the while it's loading screen in some crackly voice that you can barely understand with zooming into maps like it's a Tom Cruise movie.
Yeah.
Do it straightforward. Give it to me straight, sunshine,
Yeah.
and we'll be good.
Yeah.
We'll be good.
We're done with the whole mysticism of war and all that. Like we just want real, down to earth stories. And I think Battlefield 1 showed that.
Definitely. No Tom Cruise, please.
Hey, I'm fine with Mission Impossible.
Pushing that out
Just
there.
yeah. Anyway, so
All of our dreams and our fantasies have now been fulfilled because guess what? We can do
Final Fantasy 15.
we can
Fish
in VR.
in VR.
So, and apparently there's a story with a big fish, and it just looks like the best thing in the world. It looks terrible. Why? Why is this a thing? Of all the reasons to convince me that VR is not ready for me. That's right, not me being ready for VR, but the other way around. This is one of the reasons.
$100 for PlayStation VR. You know what? 1X. Go get a 1X. If you have $500 to burn, Go get an Xbox One X.
It'll be a much better experience.
Friggin' PlayStation VR. Ugh.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a bundle. Granted, this is a VR bundle. I don't know how much it is otherwise, but still. Point still stands.
So we'll take off 50 for the game.
Worlds, PlayStation Worlds.
Anyway.
Oh, it's $400.
It's
Yep,
$400.
Still.
God, get a PS4 Pro.
Anyway, next up we have God of War, which neither of us have actually played a God of War game, but it looks really fun, and I'm trying to understand why I haven't played one yet, because they look really fun.
I don't know. I've always had a PlayStation. I've always been a PlayStation bruh. What do you call
A PS man?
PS man?
Yes.
Best superhero name ever. PS man.
Right after Mono Man and Herpes Boy.
It's yes, Mono Man, Herpes Boy, and we're one
PS
letter.
Man.
We're one letter away from PMS Man, which is awesome. So.
That's okay. People get it still.
Anyway,
You
so
don't need to spell it out for people.
So, for me, God of War, looking at the gameplay, looking at the trailer, looks like something that the developers have really put their heart into and really made a cool individual experience that you're not going to get outside of what they're making here. Which I love when games do that, because I don't want too many replicas of the same kind of game. I want something new, and I think that's why people fell in love with Breath of the Wild, because people who have loved Zelda were kind of tired of the same formula, and they were given something new. And I think that's what God of War is doing. So it looks cool. Instead of swords, he has an axe.
And a bald head.
Bald head. Any hoots. So that's something I definitely want to keep my eye on and look for. Another thing is, I just wanted to mention, because it's not really my thing, though it's been something that's hyped and people have been looking forward to, is Detroit Become Human.
Yeah.
It looks a little like Watch Dogs in that you can do kind of techno
Stuff, but it's all about Android rights, which is something we've all been clamoring for. So there's a crowd for it, and who knows? It may be a hit of the year that none of us were expecting. So anyway, there are two more things they showed, one of which was kind of meh, we've seen this so much already, why did you even put it here? And the other was mind-blowing. The meh one was Destiny 2.
Yeah. I'm hopefully with Destiny 2, it's again, it's like Destiny, good game, a lot of people liked it. Hopefully they learned and don't put out like what was it, 7 DLCs that were $20 each?
No, it was 4, but still.
4? I thought it was.
No, it was.
I knew I was exaggerating,
1, 2,
but I thought it was 5.
no, it was DLC pack or expansion 1, expansion 2, The Taken King, and Rise of Iron were the 4 DLC packs they came out with.
So they made a $60 game into a $120 game.
No, 140. Because that's 80 plus 60.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know.
So,
I was testing you.
People, of course you were.
Yes.
People who actually came into Destiny when they came out with Rise of Iron and bought $140 worth of content for $60, they probably got the best deal. I've played it. It's fun. I like to. The only time I play is when I go on with friends and they help me level up and we have a fun time chatting. And I really don't. I didn't get into the RPG elements because it wasn't deep enough. Like, it was like everyone was freaking out about the Molger Dordeborn, whatever, big gun that everyone wants. And, like, I just didn't get it. It wasn't me. Though, I mean, Destiny 2 looks good. It looks like a fun game. And, honestly, I'm more excited for, in this specific genre, I'm more excited for Anthem.
Yeah. Looks more straightforward. Again, I mean, hopefully they don't do a ton of DLC. I'm fine with DLC. Game developers, please take a page out of Horizon Zero Dawn's book. Granted, I haven't played their DLC yet, but I played the game. I got to know the game. I loved the game. felt I got my $60 out of it. Then they put something else out, and it's like, I want more of this.
Yeah.
I'm willing to pay for it. Don't give me a half-assed
Resident Evil
game.
7
Yeah.
with like a bunch of DLC 3 days after
Exactly.
releases.
And it's like, bunch of DLC is fine. Just not, again, not make it look like you're not just stripping things out.
Yeah.
Just to be able to sell it separately. And also give us a full game from the get-go.
Yeah.
Full game from the get-go, not some... I was going to get Destiny because it was $5 at GameStop.
Yeah.
So I get there, and one of the GameStop employees sees me holding the, looking at it, and I ask him about it. I ask him his opinion, and he's like, yeah, I would actually get the one that's $60 with all the DLC included. He's like, it just wasn't a complete game with, and that's why they were selling it for $5. If your game is going for $5 less than a year after being released, you're not releasing a complete game. Or at least not a good game. And Destiny, by most reviews, was good, just not a complete game. Moving on, end of rant.
Okay, so moving on. The last game that Sony showcased at the end of their conference
And
was
the biggest piece of news. I mean, not news. We already knew about it. But still the biggest piece.
gameplay reveal of Sony's entire conference.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Godspeed, Spider-Man. In the words of Green Goblin, Godspeed.
Godspeed.
Anyway, so we knew that it was going to be a thing. We saw a teaser trailer last year at E3, and boy, did they deliver on the gameplay. I could do like a whole analysis video on this gameplay, which is phenomenal. But let's just talk about the key points of it.
It looks like it has great web mechanics, including movement, so like using them for swinging and launching yourself, but also using them to tie people up. And it's not just a normal tying people up. I remember I think it was Spider-Man 2, the game that I had on the PS2, and you could tie people up, but that was just it. It was just tying people up, and it was always the same, tying them up, hanging them from a lamppost thing. But this, it was amazing. They would plaster them to the floor or the wall, and
hang them up like a bug.
Exactly.
And here's the thing,
Like, I like that you can't just plaster any old person. Like, the gameplay mechanic with it was clear. It had a clear stealth mechanic where usually it's, from what I see, it looks like you're going to have to be up above them. Or that's going to be the easiest to do. So it has a stealth mechanic where you can instantly bind them. Or it has a mechanic where you have to weaken them or stun them in order to web them. Or you can build up a finisher move and use that finisher to instantly web someone, regardless of whether you weaken them or not. And that it involves what I like to, because I'm a Kingdom Hearts fan, what I like to call reaction commands, where you have certain situations in which you have to press a button at a right time in order to perform some cool action or finisher. So it's really, really fun looking.
It looks similar to the stealth and fighting style of kind of a Batman game.
oh yeah,
But also like the Batman Arkham games. Also with the... I'm wondering how they'll do the Spidey sense, because it looked like it was there.
yeah, they were using it.
And they were definitely using it. I just don't know if it's just going to be a single button command, or... That'll be interesting to see for me. That's what I'm guessing it'll be. Like, just press triangle.
What I'm guessing is that this would be really cool, is that they'll do a Spidey sense, and time will slow down for a moment, warning you Spidey sense is coming, and then one of the 4 face buttons will flash, and you can press one of those to perform an action. Maybe 2 options. I don't know.
Well,
that
it
would
seemed
be
like
fun.
they had similar elements to that. So I liked the gameplay because it mixed story and cutscenes with the gameplay. So it was more...
But it was fast-paced.
It was very short, 10, 15-second cutscenes that would jump right back into the game right where you were. But there were parts where you were... Watch the trailer, it'll it's again hard to explain, but you were following a helicopter and it would kind of give you reaction type commands.
Oh yeah.
You know, press triangle here, L2R2, L2R2, those sort of things.
There's cool wall running as well.
Yes.
You can, I forget what it was called, but you can basically pick anything, any sort of pole or beam up in the air, and instantly travel to it with your web sling. And it looks like you can just freely travel about New York City as Spider-Man, which is a really cool thing.
The traveling in Spider-Man games has always been just great, just because it's so much fun to just swing.
We all want to be Spider-Man.
Exactly.
That's the point.
It's like you just swing on these buildings, and it's just fun for some reason. I don't know why, but this one it added an extra element, at least to the Spider-Man games that I've played in the past, where you're not just swinging and you're interacting with your, it's a little bit of Assassin's Creed, a little bit of like a Titanfall pilot style running with the wall running, the jumping. Looked like it had a great travel mode.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're really excited for that game. Again, for a couple of games I've mentioned this, but this is one of those games where you pre-order, you get ready, and you play it at midnight when it comes out.
Definitely.
And since I think it'll be available at 10 o'clock here.
Yes.
Yes, I'm so excited.
Yes, go Mountain Standard Time.
Yeah.